Hey guys, welcome back to Say What Reacts. We're back again with the BU. We're on episode 7. Part 7.
Mm-hmm.
We just took a little break. We got some food.
Had some shrimp.
Nourishment for our bodies. I got some... Did you get shrimp?
I did.
Oh, that's right. What'd you get?
I got a shrimp gyro.
Shrimp gyro, gyro, hero, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And I got a... I had some buffalo shrimps. Yeah, it was delicious.
It was delicious.
Okay. But now we are back. We are here. We are refreshed. Ready to continue the Wings era. We are on... No, calm down. We are on episode 3, Stigma, and then we will also do 4, First Love, in the same one. I do have the ones with subtitles, so we should be able to understand everything that is going on. We've had a lot to say in all of these.
Yes, we have.
It's gotten very emotional and everything.
It's
Been
a journey.
It is a journey for sure. I'm super. I know what's coming up in this.
Right.
You don't. This is V's.
Okay.
Stigma is the title. This is the one where I said he has not confirmed exactly what the song's about, whether it's about
him,
the storyline is him.
Yeah.
You could definitely relate it to the character 100%.
For sure.
But he's never said this is just about the storyline. So it makes you think that there must be something more.
Right.
And if there is something more, what is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It must be very personal because he has not disclosed it. Who knows? People go through all kinds of struggles.
We
and
do
stuff.
every day.
So yeah. Okay. Let's put this on pause. And let's just get into this. Let's put this on the screen for you guys. Right. And pause warning above my head because we will pause and talk if we need to, especially in between the two short films to talk about the last one. So yeah. All right. Let's do this. Entertainment.
It was the first fissure in the columns that had upheld my childhood, which every individual must destroy before he can become himself. Such fissure and rents grow together again, heal and are forgotten. But in the most secret recesses, they continue to live and bleed.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand that quote. Like, I think maybe a lot of people don't know what fissure is there. Like there's the column, like the pillar that upholds my childhood and my upbringing or whatever. Like, there starts getting these little cracks in the column, and it starts breaking down, and it's like they grow together again.
Small crack.
Yeah. And it's like they will grow together again. They will knit themselves together, repair themselves. But they're like, but in the most secret recesses, they will still continue to live and bleed. So it's like sometimes you're not always completely healed.
For sure.
No matter how much it looks like you might be healed.
Or you try to tell yourself.
Yeah. So for those who may not have ever really understood what the hell is he talking about here, that's kind of what's going on with that quote.
Secret recesses, they continue to live and bleed. I'm sorry, my sister. 숨겨도 감춰도 지워지지 않아. So cry, please dry my eyes. 저 빛이 내 죄를 비춰줘. But can't be 내 죽음만 같아. 그 벌을 받게 해줘. 죄를 사해줘. 제발. 전화 한 통만 남겨주세요.
So I don't know if you caught that last quote because it was very,
Yeah, it was
very
quick,
fast.
yeah.
They're only different whales speaking entirely different
Mm-hmm.
words. Okay. So, yeah.
That's interesting.
So what do we got with this one?
So I feel like he's not at home, present much. Like he's trying to spend as much time as he can, like outside. And his sister, there is some type of like guilt for like leaving his sister in that environment.
Yeah.
And he obviously not obviously, but he feels like he's not before the "I Need You" video. Like he didn't have any power. He felt like he couldn't, that he's stuck in a similar situation, but he can go. And I don't know like what the cultural like aspect of it, like him being 21, not being at the house and stuff like that. Like that expectation, his sister may be younger and has to still, as a minor, have to stay there and be subjected to that, and he can escape, even though he's not there physically, but he's there emotionally. He feels worse. Again, like to my point as well too, like what's going on with his sister and all of this as well. But he's been carrying this burden for a while.
Yeah.
Of not maybe feeling like he can do anything about it, but then also feeling guilty as well too. Like this is premeditated. Like
totally. I mean, like he almost looks happy.
Yeah, take me out of this situation.
If he has to be there, that means he doesn't have to be home.
And it's also a separation of accountability. Mm-hmm. Like I did this. I'm paying for my consequences and repercussions, but at the same time, like to an extent, to protect his sister, because now they won't. He's not. I don't have any parents. Let me make a phone call. Obviously to check on his sister and let her know that I can't be there. But then, he's in that cage by himself now. And she's still out there in the world without him.
Not what I saw. Not at all. What
really?
I imagined. Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
Only because we've seen him call someone before.
For sure.
And we see the first person he wants to talk to.
Right.
So that's who I assume.
Yeah.
Because when he says they don't exist, I don't necessarily think this is after he did "I Need You."
No, I agree.
So I think he's just saying they don't exist because he doesn't want to have to deal with his father. But so why would he? I think he's trying to get out of this, and so of course the one person he's going to try to call is RM.
That's fair.
So that's what I think.
Definitely.
And that's what I thought. I
Definitely.
think that's what I thought 4 years ago when I reacted to this. I don't freaking remember. But based on who he's already called before, that's who I assume he's calling now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because why would he want to burden his probably minor sister with something if he's in the police station?
Well, so she doesn't have to worry anymore than he has to.
I don't think he's home very often anyway. So if he can help it.
Yeah. But I think like with these, my interpretation on these, there is no exact timeline. We know it's before "I Need You" at some point in time. So
we assume, yeah.
I feel like these are the things beyond the families. Like when they go home and they have those solitary moments in all these videos when they're even all together and they zoom in and we catch them and it's like they're still dealing with their own personal tragedies when they leave, when they're not in a group together. To me, like that's what these are. Mm-hmm. It's that darkness that they individually carry on their own and in their separate lives. When they come together, for that little moment, they have that peace and solace and having that camaraderie with the boys and all that. And I feel like all these videos are tying into like their personal individual struggles and the consequences and repercussions of their actions and how they're trying to cope with all those things and how it has a direct influence on who they are as individuals based on their family units and things like that. Because like I said, I interpreted that like him apologizing to his sister, and it's that puppy dog. It's like that solace that he has, that it's just like, that's what I have left, and I'll sit through this if I have to.
Do you think the dog represents the sister or just innocence in general?
I think
or something different.
I think it represents like compassion and like comfort and having like your friends, your family, and something that's sweet to hold on to.
And because of what he's done, he's gonna lose it all, type of thing.
Or that's what he has left, and like why I think he's calling his sister to let her know. Because like think about it like this: if he's not calling RM and they find out who his parents are and they call his parents and things like that, his dad will probably be like, he's never here anyway,
or pissed and take it out on his sister.
That's the end game. Regardless of what he says to the police, if he picks him up or not, he's gonna take it out on his sister. So he's just kind of like, let me call her to let her know, to alleviate. Because that's one thing.
I never saw it as him calling her, but
I feel you. Yeah. That's fair.
That's only because of what I've already seen once in this thing, so I'm just going with the same thing.
For sure.
Not really looking at it more than that.
Yeah,
so it's probably.
Yeah.
But that's interesting to possibly look at it as
and that's like been my interpretation so far, is them individually dealing with their things as a collective. Because I know they're a group and things like that, but it's like, again, putting myself in their shoes.
Why with JK you didn't see Suga in the picture or someone else. You were thinking
it was him
brother. Individually.
Right.
But I mean, ultimately we are seeing their individual things, but this is a story about them.
Yeah, as a whole as
well. So that's why I guess I'm not just, although we are seeing their individual short films, I'm still, going to relate it back to the group.
For sure.
Some way, shape, and
then also, you also thought they died after all these videos.
Well, look, calm down.
But that concept to me doesn't even resonate.
But not this one.
No, not this one. But
this one, but I thought he went to jail for who knows how long, which is, depending, could be practically like a death within itself, depending on how bad it is. Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like in that aspect of diving into their individual lives and their individual grief that they're dealing with and their stresses and things like that, I feel like so far in this, tying it back to, like, these videos are kind of like the catalyst of what's happening with all of them. Like, the things that they were going to that led to I Need You. Like, the I Need You Again, to me, is like the worst of the worst that they've been. It's the lowest they've been. It's the darkest place that they've been in. And we're seeing an individual view into their lives, not as a group as a whole, but giving it more context of what's going on individually. And like in Run, even when they were together, there was like some little bit of conflict, or there was some of that internal, not solitude, but like loneliness, even though they were together with everybody. So I feel like Wings is giving me, anyway, and I'm filling in those blanks kind of like with my own personal journey of that individual struggle. Even when you have people that want to be there or try to be there or say they're going to be there, at the end of the day, you're by yourself, born alone, dying alone, regardless of how tight that bond is, because they're hurt and they're struggling, I'm hurt and I'm struggling, but I have a little sister and a family, and like with the others, it's different dynamics, That's my interpretation, anyway. Like, I don't feel yet that they're reaching out, because at the end of the day, you don't want to bring your people down either.
Yeah.
And as a young man, you're trying to you try to keep that inside and try to deal with it the best you can, especially if you have a support system that subdues you to changing yourself to make them feel comfortable, or you have another person that really can't defend themselves. Because at the same time, like, at one point in time, they were both getting beat too, and he just left, and he had the legs to go ahead and run and be able to be gone, but his sister doesn't. So it's like he has to deal with that aspect. That's going to be a constant too,
leaving her there.
Right.
So what's up with the word that he's carving?
I thought he was trying to like cross it out, like just to do like some kind of vandalism, just to get caught. Because he could have been painting.
But you see what it is?
What's it say? Abra?
Abraxas.
Abraxas. Abraxas. What does that mean? I feel like I've seen that somewhere.
You probably have.
Yeah.
Let's continue. Yeah, it does look like he's scratching it out.
Yeah.
And then it's like the smirk on his face, like he's happy to be caught.
Yeah.
Just kind of like when he got caught with RM and he was like taunting the police, like, come get us, type of thing. Now he doesn't look happy there.
Right.
Yeah, like this whole part. And even just the guy drinking the water, like, just as, like, a trigger almost.
And like I was saying, too, I don't know if you remember, when he's running around with RM and Run, it's one of those things of, like, society as a whole, you know, an authority figure, your parents and what they're putting on. It's all that different perspective and their perception of that reality altogether, that this guy might as well be my dad.
Yeah.
You know, as an authority figure.
The way they filmed this, where it looks like he's getting hit and there's no one there.
Right.
Like, I thought they did. Tay's such a good actor, though. Oh, he's such a good actor. Did you notice that, too?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could have the sound on. Why not? Sorry. Did you notice that?
Yeah, like at the phone book, it's like, who can you call in a situation like this? You know what I mean? Like, who's gonna answer that call anyway? Like, calling out to nobody's, there's not an option.
But also the reason why, the reason why I related it to RM is because of, is it the Japan?
The Japanese Run.
Is it Run? Yeah. Okay, yeah, the Japanese Run. That's another reason why I was like, hold on a second. Like, there's a chained up phone booth, and at the end he has to make a call. Right. And then RM was in a clear phone booth as well. And Run. So I'm like, these must have something to do with one another. I would think. I don't know. Yeah. So that's how I related it. I don't know. But I get your point about the sister. That makes sense too. He's such a good actor. Okay, I can't watch this part again because it just makes me cry every time. Literally, like, I was fighting back tears last time when we were watching it. I fucking can't. So we have that's V's, the slice, and then Jimin and JK's. All right. Anything else with that one? Ready to go on to the next one? Okay. Next one is First Love. It is Suga. And I kind of see, it's like I want you to know the lyrics to this one. Right. Should I just like...
We can play that one after,
read you the lyrics
what came out
to this
first,
one?
the video or this?
Well, the song, I think they came out at like the same time, I believe. I want, because I feel like...
How long is the song?
To understand. But it doesn't, I mean, we haven't reacted to any of the songs. Now all of a sudden we're going to react to one. Like, that doesn't make sense, you know. Doesn't seem very fair. First Love.
Well, like I'm saying, cue up those lyrics. I'll watch this and we can go back.
But I want you to know what the First Love is about. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Right. Stop. No. Okay, hold on. Jesus Christ. So, the corner of my memory, a brown piano settled on one side. In the corner of my childhood, house, a brown piano settled on one side. I remember that moment, way taller than my height, the brown piano that guided me. I look up to you, I yearn for you. When I touched you with my small finger, I felt so nice. I feel so nice, Mom. I feel so nice. I played the piano wherever my hands took me. I didn't know your significance back then. Back then, I was content with just looking at you. Right. I remember back during my elementary school days when my height became taller than yours. I neglected you when I once yearned for you. So on top of the white jade-like keyboard, dust is piling on. Your image has been neglected. Even then, I didn't know your significance. No matter where I am, you always defended that spot. But I didn't know that would be the last. You say, don't leave like this. Don't worry. Oh, this is... so verse 4, all of a sudden you hear his voice changes. Okay. And it's like someone else is now talking, right? And it's like, don't worry, even if I leave, you'll do well on your own. I remember when I first met you. Before I knew it, you grew up. Though we are putting an end to our relationship, don't ever feel sorry to me. I will get to meet you again, no matter what form. Greet me happily then. And then I remember back when I met you that I had completely forgotten. So this is Sugar again.
Right.
I remember back then when I met you that I had completely forgotten when I was around 14. The awkwardness was only for a moment. I touched you again. Even though I was gone for a long time without repulsion, you accepted me. Without you, I am nothing. After the dawn, two of us, we welcome the morning together. Don't let go of my hand forever. I won't let go of yours again either. I remember back then we burned up the last of my teens. Yes, the days when we couldn't see an inch in front of us. We laughed, we cried. Those days without you, those moments are now in memories. I said, grasping my crushed shoulder. This is why it's both kind of fiction and nonfiction, because he actually did, during his trainee days, he was still delivering food. He was, I don't know if it was food. He was like doing like his side job while trainee because he still needed to make money.
Right.
And a car actually hit him and actually injured his shoulder. And in 2021, I think 2021.
Right.
I think it was 2021 or the end of 2020. I can't remember. He actually had shoulder surgery. I can't think of talk. Shoulder surgery. Wow. No. So anyway, those days with you, those moments are now in memories. I said, grasping my crushed shoulder, I really can't do anymore. Every time I wanted to give up. Did an ad on my screen? Every time I wanted to give up, by my side you said, bastard, you can really do it. Yeah. I remember back then when I was fed up and lost. Back then when I fell into a pit of despair. Even when I pushed you away. Even when I resented meeting you. You were firmly by my side. You didn't have to say anything. So don't ever let go of my hand. I won't let you go ever again either. My birth until the end of my life. You'll be there to watch over it all. And then the outro, the corner of my memory, a brown piano settled on one side.
Right.
In the corner of my childhood house, a brown piano settled on one side. So that's his first love.
Music, for sure.
Piano and music, yeah. So, that's song is First Love. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to...
Give me context.
Because when you hear First Love, you don't necessarily think piano. But you might end up getting that, on its own. I mean, we already saw Burning Piano in...
all of them so far.
JK's and Jimin's, not in V's. V's is the only one where it didn't give you flashes of other people, other than the RM phone booth. That's the only thing that it gave us kind of a hint on. Okay, so let's put this on the screen. Oops. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's do this.
There are numerous ways in which God can make us lonely and lead us back to ourselves. This was the way He dealt with me at that time.
It's a good throw.
Who that?
Was it the cat? Oh, hi. It's like, is it the cat? Hi.
No, it's me.
What's up?
I want to know if I could just come chill for a couple minutes.
Oh, yeah. I'm not on live or anything. We're just reacting.
Okay. You're just reacting?
You're more than welcome to chill. We're watching a video. You're not going to know anything that's going on. That's okay. This is Nancy. Hi.
Hello. Hello, I'm very cold.
Yeah, we're doing the middle of a storyline. So we're like 7 episodes in. He's deep in it.
Deep.
You're deep in the,
I'm invested.
Yeah.
lore.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Oh, yeah. All right.
I don't know about lore. It's like the story of my life so far.
Yeah. would expect his to merge with JK's.
Right.
It didn't. It merged with Jimin.
Yeah.
Is there a shift? I don't know. So. She's like, I have no idea what's happening.
I don't know what's happening, but I like the cinematography.
Very interesting,
Very
right?
nice.
Yeah. Very interesting storytelling.
It is.
And you saw in this one, well, first of all, did you notice the whistling?
Yeah.
Whose is that from? It was the very first one.
Is it?
Yeah. Not the very first video, but the very first.
Yeah, the very first one.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
With JK.
Yeah.
And then did you notice this one came into play with that?
Yeah.
That scene.
With the tub.
Yeah.
It was not this deep when I was into it.
Oh,
It's always
it
been
is.
this deep.
It was not.
It is crazy.
The closest we got was because I was around when EXO first debuted.
Oh yeah. EXO had
was
the
Mama,
storyline at
and
pre-debut.
it's like, they have superpowers.
Oh yeah. Their pre-debut started with their storyline in 2011, and then their debut in 2012. Yeah, that was kind of like the big kickoff of like, you know,
the explosion.
Yeah,
Right.
K-pop storylines.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but this is more reality based. That's more fantasy based. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, is it based on each member's actual like journey?
Not personal
is it-
necessarily. No, I mean there are little aspects here and there that I'm sure that they could pick from it and kind of apply to themselves. But it's definitely a storyline.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. I mean, like, I don't want to spoil anything.
Right.
But I'll show you before you leave. I'll show you like the first MV that kicks off the storyline.
Okay.
Which is I Need You, which we've already reacted to. I'll
Yeah.
show you that before you leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
This is it's he reacted. He was like, oh shit,
Yeah,
like
the shit,
I mean,
it was not what I expected.
this is not what I expected. That is
all.
heavy. Like
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's good
And
though.
It's BTS. this
Yeah.
one. Okay.
Yeah,
It's deep.
it's good stuff, y'all. So what you got?
So like him wandering around and breaking into this music store and playing the piano.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that you read the lyrics to me because now it paints a different picture altogether. Because like with the whistling, I'm not even though I know where it's from, like I don't tie it together to where it's like it doesn't feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
That like recreating that first love. Whenever you fall in love with anything, nothing is ever as good as you get older. But to a point that it's not until you get much older that you realize that nothing is ever the same and it's not supposed to be. You appreciate everything like as it happens and when you experienced it and why you experienced it. And it was like I almost started crying like instantly in the beginning where it's just like God is going to separate you from things so you can find yourself.
You mean with the quote?
With the quote in the beginning. And that's like really solidifies in terms of what we all go through at some point in time in our life regardless of what you're trying to search for.
Yeah.
But like in context for this, like that's what I felt like he's been wandering around trying to find something that he had when he was very young, and you grow up and you evolve to certain extents and you regress in certain extents, and him breaking into this store and playing this piano and it's just like it should be the same, it should sound the same, and it's not the same.
And he like kind of like looks down. He's like,
and it haunts
he
me.
starts to
like,
play and he's like,
that,
this isn't the same.
Right. And it's not even a thing of like being in key or in tune or anything like that. It's like he's chasing a ghost.
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
And
it's
the emotion of the feeling. Yeah.
And it haunts him. And when he hears it again, it like compels him, but still it's not the same. And like that car accident, like going into it, it's almost like the rhythm of the world. Like things don't happen when you want them and how you want them to happen. It happens how it should.
Yeah.
And coming back to like returning to like the crime scene and everything like that, it's just like consequence and repercussion of your actions. Not to say that he caused that car accident.
Right.
But as a young man, seeing this, hearing that, and kind of being lost in your own like delusion and disassociation, which you disconnect in your present life when things hit that hard reality, like nothing is ever going to be the same, but still that melody still like haunts him.
Yeah.
And what's like happening in the moment right now too.
So I wonder if I could probably tell you what people are thinking at this point, maybe.
Yeah.
Because you've already gotten past this point. You've already said your thoughts.
Yeah,
on it.
for sure.
So a lot of people are thinking, well, first of all, the whistle comes from JK's, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get. Now I'm intrigued. So if you're gonna,
You gotta go.
Like,
You'll be here all night.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil.
So a lot of people are thinking that because the whistle does come from JK's begin.
Yeah.
So, and JK and Suga have kind of had this,
this
connection,
thing,
right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of people are thinking, that JK is almost like luring him away from that scene.
Right.
And he's on kind of like searching.
Yeah.
And then you hear the car accident. Well, if Suga wasn't lured away from that place, that car would have hit him.
Right.
So it's almost like JK kind of like saving him. In a way,
yeah.
But and then also when he's on the road, you hear the car flies past him. But then did you notice?
There's blood on the road. There's accident already happened.
Right, yeah. But it's like JK looks. It appears as though he got hit by a car, and I need you. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So a lot of people are like kind of relating.
Yeah.
The two of them together, but then all of a sudden, why is Jimin here? Or why is Jimin seen here? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then why did he merge with Jimin at the end? Well, you know what I'm saying? It's
like I said, in terms for, like, I feel like that portrait to you, you're like, that's Suga. Like, to me, something had happened related to like a car accident, right? I got notes.
JK.
I'm trying to remember their names. JK, and. Not that he's trying to lure, because we're diving into the realm of like supernatural, right? To avoid what? Something had happened to him and he's living his life, but in Run they have that conflict to where it's just like, oh, I've been here before. But then when you realize like this shit is deeper than it actually is, like in terms of loss, what was taken from JK in that aspect, he sees a lot, in my opinion, he sees a lot of his, whoever that was, his brother or whatever, in Suga. And there's a lot of parallels in that reminder and like trying to correct something, because like when you're young and when something traumatic happens like that, the first thing you're gonna have, like in your steps of grief and shit like that, is like, anger and denial and acceptance. So it's as he's going through like these different steps and projecting all these things rather than not necessarily avoiding and ignoring it, he's seeing the parallels in someone that he loves in his present life as well too. And I can see that when this was coming out and everybody's opinion in that, but then also like that kind of like back shadow of that blood on the wall with the blood on the street with the skid marks from the tires and stuff like that. It's like, I think that we're seeing more of the parallels of their connection in the present time, separated from their past.
But you also are personally trying to still keep them individually separated and not connected back to the members in each one of these things that you're watching.
Right.
So that's also probably why you're not thinking about JK during watching this.
Right.
Yeah. But I can't help but think about JK when I hear the whistle.
Yeah. I understand
and when I hear the car accident.
I understand that. Yeah,
and then,
for sure.
And of course, when I see this, I think of Jimin.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. So, I mean, obviously, we're thinking of these things because they've put those things
for a reason.
They've presented those things to us. Therefore, either they're trying to throw us off or they are there for a reason.
I don't think that they're trying to throw us off, and the reason isn't supposed to be obvious. It's supposed to be nuanced and it's connected. But I think that they're connecting in a way that is different.
It isn't so obvious.
Well, not even that it's so obvious, that people are complicated. Yeah. Emotions are complicated, even for us as individuals. And then when you add that into coming and engaging with other people, it even complicates things like even more. Yeah. And like when having like that wounded healer psyche aspect of it, of like, I'm going to try to help you but realize that I can't, that you got your own problems, that creates a whole nother level of complications and things. Yeah. And I think more of connecting them in a way of showing that their trauma bond.
Yeah.
And that's not a healthy way to like carry your life, but they're young men. They're trying to figure it out. They've been through a lot of things too. So it's kind of like that journey. Walking down that dark road. Again, that road was like inverted too.
Yeah.
So is he in a low part of his life, or is it a reflection, or is it just an overlap of seeing where these lives are intertwined more than just a friendship that they establish between each other? That's like what I
think it's funny that you just said reflection, and earlier he had the mirrors, and RM's song coming up is called Reflection.
There you go. To me again, and it's not. I'm not doing this from like a to be you know, a contrarian. It's just like how I'm perceiving it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's personal to me.
And I can tell you some things you're definitely getting right, some things you're not quite right on.
For sure.
And I'm not going to tell you which they are. You know what I mean? I want you to continue interpting things the way you interpret them. And I want your journey and perception to evolve as the story evolves. For sure. Because you'll eventually, I don't need to tell you what it is.
They're going to
You'll eventually figure it out, you know? So I don't need to do that. And I don't need to spoil that for you.
Yeah.
You'll eventually figure it out. So, yeah. Yeah.
It's wild.
It is. It's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy. All right, y'all.
How many more of these are left? There's 7 altogether,
There's
right?
7 altogether.
Okay.
So there's going to be 5 and 6 are going to be J-Hope and RM.
Okay.
And then the 7th one will be Jin.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll kind of recap
cool.
the series. But yeah. Anything else with this one?
No.
I feel like this one was fairly simple compared to like some of the other ones. Like JK's was very interesting and almost like abstract in a way.
For sure.
You know, with just the weird things coming in and then like this scene moving this way, this coming in this way. I was like, what is happening?
And again, like when I made that note to myself.
Oh my god, that smells good. Is that the last one?
No, I got it's a straw. It's these.
Oh, I thought it was a strawberry Starburst.
No, that shit's probably done. I probably ate all those. Yeah, that's just the grandma strawberries.
I'll have the grandma strawberry candy. I love these things. Actually, I have the ones that Laura gave me. Oh, they're in one of my drawers. Oh, there they are. They're from a different country though. But it's the same thing.
Yeah, same
except
concept.
They're white instead of having the red dye 40s not in it. Those are white.
Right on.
Yeah, better for you, I guess.
But I like what I'm being presented in a lot of ways, and I like the ambiguity to where that's the point.
If I choke, will you resuscitate me?
I'll do my best. I'm not trained.
Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah, if that'll work. But like my notes on there of just like the Japanese version of those videos is definitely like a presentation of emotional, not necessarily distress, but just like the ups and downs and the roller coaster and surrealism and the disconnect of am I crazy? Is it my fault? Should I be responsible? You know, should I feel guilty? Should I feel resentment? There's a lot of things happening in my control and out of my control, and as you get older, you know, you start to realize you let go of things and you try to heal things or repress things. And I feel like when it's really artistic like this, when it's very subjective like this, I feel it's trying to convey not as much of the story. It's let us be present in how the members are perceiving the reality at the time in these spaces, because it's very, because like I Need You is very black and white. We don't we don't know how everybody got there, but we see these situations and circumstances, and it is what it is. Like when we start getting into these other videos, we're starting to get to kind of tread this level of like emotional connection, and sometimes we don't know why we feel the way we feel, or you can be triggered by things because you got those fissures that heal on the surface, but that crack still runs deep. It's still bleeding and alive. Yeah. So it's like with that, those, and that's what I attach to as well, because if those little quotes from this book didn't resonate with me so much, that's why I'm looking at it as an individual journey for the individuals, even though they're going to come together. I get that, you know, and that's my perception of it, but then also I'm filling in that gap of my own personal experience, not necessarily projecting my trauma into it. They've just conveyed a lot of things that I can definitely resonate with.
Definitely. I can't wait for you to also read the book.
Yeah.
After we're done, he's going to take it home. He's going to read Damien. He's going to take it home. He's going to read it. And then we'll talk about, you know, before we get into the next era.
Yeah.
Before we get into Blood, Sweat, and Tears, we'll talk about that and then get into Blood, Sweat, and Tears as well. Because Blood, Sweat, and Tears also has to do with, like, you know, kind of like the Damien thing.
For sure,
so.
For sure.
All right, well. Sorry, I have a candy in my mouth. But yeah, that is part 7, right? I said 7? Okay. I don't even remember what part we're on, y'all. Sounds like Nancy's in church, though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. She had to get the fuck out of here. She was like, yo, is that what's happening tonight?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I should hit the record button when I show her I need you.
Yeah. Get her quick reaction on it for sure.
I should, right? Y'all would probably want to see someone react to Do I Need You for the first time randomly, yeah? Why
or
not?
get her and Brittany in here. After we get deep enough in here, because you kind of started with Brittany.
It's just hard with schedules. She
For
lives
sure.
far away. Brittany has kids.
That's true.
You know.
But I mean, on the days, like, you can coordinate with Brittany. He'd be like, hey, because we're usually here every Saturday.
Mm-mm.
No?
She stops in for a second.
Yeah. No, so I'm saying coordinate with her at a later date.
It's
because
hard.
we're usually here on Saturday.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, anyway. That's we'll figure all that out.
Yeah, we'll figure that shit out.
Anyway, so please like, comment, and subscribe.
What I think, sorry, I don't mean before you, I just had this like quick thought in terms of you letting me in on what people have been going on from today all the way back to like when this was released and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was also a community of people that were like on par and filling in kind of like gaps amongst themselves and online and forums and things like that and putting together and looking at it from a story point. I didn't even realize when she was just like, when I was getting into this and EXO was like really putting storyline out and you're just like, that was like the genesis of lore. I didn't even
not necessarily, but
like,
to that extent,
right? So I was just like, I didn't even know that. So that in itself creates a whole other like train of thought, and I can understand why a lot of people have their opinions and why you would think, not that you're programmed, but there's definitely a slight influence of outside influence based on when you're perceiving because you're looking for certain things versus me. I'm like, I'm just reliving a lot of trauma right now.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing, and it's just really interesting on how everyone has their own perception and their own realities. But like, to me, I'm very emotionally invested, not just because I'm empathetic. It's just I am empathetic to the point of what I've experienced and what's been in my control and what's not been in my control. So that's another interesting thing that I see in context as well too. Because to me, I don't care what's right and wrong and where the story's going to go. Not that I say I don't care about the story, because I do, but as I'm watching it and just being present with this a lot, it's resurfacing a lot of things in my life personally. It's very interesting.
Yeah. And I think it's because people can relate to it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I freaking love the EXO storyline. I love AT's storyline.
Yeah, for sure.
But I can't relate to being an alien from another planet that has superpowers. And I can't relate to being a pirate, in search of, I mean...
But the concepts are very similar. You know what I mean? Freedom and love and camaraderie and
wanting to save people from themselves and another one searching for your treasure, which is whatever that is to you. The deep meaning of both of those storylines you can relate to,
and it's very digestible. It's very digestible.
But there's a fantasy element of both of those that you can still separate yourself from, so you can't get it's not completely super overwhelmingly emotional or anything like that. This is not that.
No.
This is the way they present it.
It's very personal to where it's like, hey, we want to strike a chord in you, but then at the same time, it's like, this is also for a group of people that have been running from something. Yeah,
exactly. And so the way they present it is just very relatable for a lot of people, and I think that's why people love it so much. And it's crazy.
Yeah, it's raw.
It is. So, anyway, okay. We're going to go. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If there is something I missed telling him, please comment it down below. But please do not spoil anything that we have not gotten to yet. I'd very much appreciate that. If anybody does spoil crap, I'm going to start deleting comments. Because there's just no need. Let him enjoy the storyline without putting any thoughts into his head on, what's going to happen in the future. So, yeah. Okay? Okay. All right, awesome. All right, guys.
See you soon.
Love you guys, and we will see you guys in the next video.